Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to be live with you once again with the brand new senior White House correspondent for Black Press USA and the NNPA and Washington bureau chief. I'm keep saying brand new. She's still brand new, but since January 20th, it feels like we've been doing this for 6 months with all the stuff that's been happening. Seems
Oh my
like an
God.
eternity.
It's been crazy as hell out there.
I just
feels
want
like
to say I'm going to let her lead this conversation, but I just want to say glad to have Michael Steele and Jamie Harris and I bumped in there. I just called Jamie to see if he could join us. He is celebrating his birthday.
That's right.
Happy birthday, Jamie. Sorry, we won't get so enjoy your birthday. You deserve it. But April texts me, let's get Michael on. He's pissed. Apparently he was on MSNBC carrying on and cussing. So it's like, while y'all talking, let me see if I can find the clip. What time were you on, Michael? Let me see if I can find the clip.
I was on Chris Jansen, so it was probably around 2:30, 2:20, 2:30 in that window.
See. Y'all start this conversation. I'm gonna try to find the clip of you cussing live on television.
Oh, he was cussing. He's not cussing like that, but he ended it with a very strong point. Even someone who was in, I don't know if it was the director or the cameraman who was in the room, they even kind of chuckled. You could hear an audible chuckle because it was like a punch in the face. I said, Michael. So I texted him, I said, you're pissed, huh? He said, yes, I am. But I get it because Michael Steele is prolific on the air, right? Michael Steele, for those of you who don't remember or don't know, and this is one of the reasons why I like Michael Steele. Michael Steele was the Black Republican lieutenant governor of the state of Maryland, but he also was the former head of the Republican National Committee. He was the head of the RNC. This is not the RNC that he knew.
No.
This is a whole nother crew running. Elon Musk is running. They're getting ready to take Gaza Strip. They're firing people like a business. They're saying, take the buyout or you will get fired. And people are protesting and said, how do you know that Elon Musk knows what he's talking about, taking a buyout? Do we really have the money for a buyout? There's so many different things. Then it's just a lot of things going on in this moment in time. And Michael is upset because he ran the Republican National Committee. He understands government. He understands how it flows from top to bottom. Michael, talk to us about, your angst in this moment. What piece of it are you upset with?
I'm actually upset with all of it. Well, first off, it's good to see both of you. Mark, April, brothers and sisters in arms. We've been on opposite sides and the same sides over the years, and it's just good to have your voices out there. April, it's wonderful to have your news being shared the way it is. Your leadership, your example in press as a journalist is important at this time. Just a lot of it pisses me off at this point because I'm disappointed in the attitude of the American people right now. The selfishness is galling. It's absolutely galling. And the point I was making in the segment with my buddy Chris Jansen on MSNBC was everyone's out here, the 2024 election was not about the warnings that came with Project 2025. Everyone ignored Project 2025. It was the blueprint, 900 pages of telling you what was going to happen. And everything you see happening right now is laid out in Project 2025. Everybody ignored it. Everybody was concerned about the price of eggs, price of gas, and I got that. But what you're seeing happening now with the summary firing of federal civil servants who have no political agenda, who've worked in Republican and Democratic administrations forever, and having grown up in Washington, D.C., my daddy being a former federal employee, myself being a former federal employee, I know all too well what that spirit is like. It is ultimately and always about public service. A middle class was built in the DMV from that public service, right? You have families that were able to move generationally from poverty into prosperity because of their commitment and their work and what the federal government service afforded them, both in that public service, but also in their own personal journey. And to have someone like Elon Musk piss on it the way he is, and to denigrate it the way he has, and to allow and to have Republicans who are so much, oh, now for the working man and woman. Bull. You're not. You never have been. You have always been about the big bottom line for the person who has the bigger paycheck, the person who runs the business. And so that frustration for me kind of boiled over today. And I just wanted people to know that, yeah, I get it. You know, everybody's concerned about the price of eggs, right? But the price you're about to pay for what's happening is it's bigger than the price of eggs.
Yeah.
And I just wanted them to know, you know, they're just being asses about it. And so I just think it's important for people to understand that we need to, at this point, we can't rely. I mean, can we just stop with the bull conversation? People sitting up there waiting for Republicans. Mike Johnson, the guy who was in the back room plotting the insurrection, the overthrow of the government.
He's still waiting to find out the details of much of what President Trump is doing. He's been on TV saying, well, we're getting more information.
Oh, we know what President Trump is doing.
Yeah.
And Mike Johnson knows what President Trump is doing. So, I mean, it's so galling. So we're going to have to take control of this. And here's a little tip for you.
Who's we are going to have to take control of this? Who?
You, me, citizens, period.
Wait a minute. I warned.
I know you did. You warned, I warned, but that doesn't mitigate against the work. They didn't heed the warning. Okay, so we got to level the warnings back up. We got to motivate people and help them understand through your journalism, through what I do on my platforms, what I'm doing in the democracy space, what Mark is doing in the areas that he's working in. All of us have to now unify that message around the value proposition for the United States of America, because no one's out here arguing for the country.
No one's
arguing for the country.
Nobody. Well, now Democrats, Mark kept saying, well, what are the Democrats doing? I said, first of all, Mark, you have to understand that he's flooding the zone. And it's like, what piece do you pick today?
All of it.
But it's a lot. So wait a minute. As you pick all of it, they're now out there in front of the Department of Treasury talking about this information that they're flooding and giving people about career people, about people, DEI people. And what people don't understand, and I don't even know if they fully understand this, DEI is not just Black. It's not just brown. It's the pregnant woman who needs help navigating through while she's at work. It is the person who's disabled needing help navigating through. It's not just Black folks. It's not affirmative action. It's to help those who are disadvantaged at the time. Well, one thing I'm going to say.
But they've made DEI, April, the new N word.
Oh, yes,
that's right. And as a matter of fact, it's code. See, that was a term that came up. We didn't really invent. Corporate America latched onto it after George Floyd. DEI is actually code for civil rights. So you can come out and say, we're getting rid of people's civil rights. We're going to get rid of people's DEI. It's like people who get confused. Affordable Care Act and Obamacare don't mean the same thing.
Right.
Those were Kentucky Appalachians.
Civil rights. Frankly, Michael, is more than Black people, because we're talking about American with this. Everybody who's covered under civil rights, LGBTQIA, women, ADA, Americans with disabilities. Yeah. This affects everyone. So you keep people say, well, yeah, I'm on DEI. No, they're talking about civil rights. That's what they are talking about, and that is what they are coming for, and that's what we have to deal with. April, I found the clip. Hold on, let me see if I can get this up for us.
Oh boy!
So this is Michael. This is Michael Steele.
Bam!
Today on the show on Chris Jansen. So let's see if we can get this up so everybody can see and hear him. Here we go.
You've got 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds who have in control of Treasury under Elon Musk.
How ass backwards stupid is that? And yet Donald Trump and everybody's walking around Washington, Mike Johnson included, acting like, well, this is very good for how we're going to clean up the government. Yeah, and our adversaries are like, more please, thank you very much. Because now they're going to be a part of the sinews and infrastructure of our federal system as much as the CIA is. Unsecured email with sensitive personnel information. You've got to be kidding me. And nobody on Capitol Hill, there's no Republican leadership who think that's a problem. This is the country's got to get a grip here. I get it. The price of eggs, understood. I get it. What it costs to put gas in the tank. But the price we're paying now and about to pay after this is going to be far greater than what a dozen eggs cost your ass. Trust me on that.
Michael Steele.
You hear the laughing in the back?
Bluntly put.
What it's gonna cost the price? What's gonna cost your ass the price of eggs? I'm like, oh Lord. And Michael used to be in seminary. I heard more cussing from Michael Steele today. I said, Lord have mercy.
But he's right.
Ave Maria.
Wait, so you know what I talk about though, Michael? Check this out, man. He wants to deport everybody here.
Mm-hmm. That ain't white.
Now, and they want to shrink the size of government and all this other kind of stuff.
It's
But
not
yet-
European white. European white. Let's get the white right.
Right. but they want to shrink the size of government. And no, not even any Republicans, Michael, who want to save money and cut budgets, are saying, you know, it's going to cost a lot of money for us to go annex Gaza and rebuild it. You talk, so wait a minute, we got the money to rebuild a whole nation all of a sudden, y'all?
No. Listen. Number one, that's ethnic.
And send troops over there?
That's ethnic cleansing. You cannot, that's illegal to send U.S. troops to occupy another nation. Do you know what this is? This is tantamount to Russia taking Ukraine. That's all it is. And that's the way I see it.
And Benjamin Netanyahu is
still
talking
costs
about
money, April. That still costs money, y'all.
It
does. And the reality is exactly where Mark is placed it. It's what it's going to cost. And no one's talked about the cost of any of this. Right. Going after Greenland, going after Gaza, the Panama, the tariffs. I mean, you saw how the market said to him on Monday, "Oh, this is what you're going to do?" Yeah. No, you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're not. And the market's like down 700 points before it opened. And that boy made a U-turn so fast to make your head spin. So now, no tariffs for Canada and Mexico because they called his bluff. And that's the thing. That's the leadership.
Well, for 90 days, though. For 90 days.
Doesn't matter. They got him to stop his train. They got him to back down. And as the president of Mexico said, I got him to agree to shit. Excuse me, I don't want to cuss on your show, but
I told you he was pissed.
He went to seminary. Now he cussing. I'm back in seminary. Michael, you don't know this. I'm back in seminary for my PhD, and you cussing while I'm in seminary. So go ahead,
I'm sorry.
I'm good.
And I'm sitting up here like.
As the president of Mexico noted, I got him to agree to stuff that we're already doing.
Right.
That's how dumb he is.
But wait a minute. I'm going to tell you something. And as people are trying to figure out, I think Kelly O'Donnell was so great last night in that press conference, putting it right in his face. How are you going to take over a sovereign nation? And he said, well, most people I've talked to like it. Netanyahu will agree to anything that Donald Trump will say, because Netanyahu, this is the only country that he can even come to without getting arrested for crimes against humanity.
His own people want to kick him out.
Yes. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. But here's the thing: what I'm telling you, I feel it, and I know this man. He wants America to take over Gaza, the U.S. will own it, but some kind of way, the Trump organization will be a part of the
They're
reconstruction.
building a
And it,
hotel.
yes,
Right.
because he
Right.
said it's going to be like the Riviera,
The Mediterranean, like it's gonna
Riviera.
Fuji little place for rich people to go play.
He wants a Dubai on the Gaza Strip, and it's going to put more trauma on the Palestinians.
It's not going to happen.
But
Who wants to go play in the middle of a war zone?
This whole thing could start wars, okay? And yes, it is a war zone. It's not thought out. I think, like, he almost slipped up and said the land is valuable. He almost said, and then he pulled back. The land is valuable. He sees, we're going to go over there. We're going to clean up all the bombs, the unexploded bombs and everything. Who's going to do that? But I got a feeling there's going to be Trump. I got a feeling there's going to be Trump land all across Gaza if he does get his way.
That's why he had his boys over in the Middle East over the course of the last summer before the election. They're already out there scoping out their deals. They're cutting their backroom deals. Look, here's the thing. You had sitting behind Donald Trump on that stage, on that inaugural stage, over $1 trillion worth of wealth.
Yes, you did.
1, 2. Elon Musk once has cut his deal to become the world's first trillionaire, period. And the only thing Bezos and others are trying to figure out how they can save enough space to get a piece. Right? Because right now, Elon Musk is the lead dog. And Elon Musk is willing to go out here and do the crap that Donald Trump doesn't want to do because the deal's been cut. He's got 18 friggin' government contracts that no one is scrutinizing, starting with SpaceX and NASA. And
but
no
it's
one's
not
looking at that.
It's not going to be scrutinized because there is no checks and balances.
Of course not.
There are no checks and balances. Democrats can scream. It's going to have to be hell freezing over. It's going to have to be so bad for Republicans to finally acquiesce and get in line with Democrats. It's going to have to fall down so hard. People are going to have to be hurting. MAGA is going to have to turn away from him. And the question is, will that happen?
Americans need to start unelecting these people. They need to start unelecting them. If you value your self-interest, since you are so selfish to begin with, think about how this is going to look on you in a year's time, 2 years' time. What do you think the countries look? The reality of it is you've got people right now who are sitting there applauding the deconstruction of our federal government, and they haven't had put the light bulb on long enough to realize that if this is partly successful, the benefits, the support, the aid, the resources, the programs that they rely on, hello, red states, because you don't contribute to the economy. You suck from the economy. You do not, New York, DC, LA, right? Their citizens do not get back what they put in. You get more than you put out to the rest of the economy. And so these programs are there for your poor, for your undereducated, for your homeless, for your citizens who are struggling. And when they go away, who are you going to call? That red congressman who sat there and voted it all in and applauded it, kept silent.
Matt Gaetz, they call him Matt Gaetz. And Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Matt Gaetz not even in Congress anymore. But listen, we are 16 days into this administration. We already got you cussing. That's ridiculous. 16 days in. And are you talking about an election and voting these people? An election is a lot. This is just 16 days and you cussing.
No, elections. We got elections this November. We got two very important elections in Virginia and New Jersey this November.
November is like 10,000 years away.
It's not. Rachel, April, let me tell you. I became chairman about this time in the end of January in 2009. And I immediately set sights on two very important elections that November because I had to send a statement that the party was ready to compete in 2010. I needed to win the governorships of New Jersey and the governorships of Virginia. The governorship of Virginia is going to be a very important race in this country for this country this November. The governorship, the race in New Jersey, the same. This is the chance, the opportunity for Democrats and independent-minded voters to get their act together to decide what they want and how they're going to message. And because that's going to set up what you do in November. There may be a special election between now and then. Okay, deal with that. I had like 5 or 6 I had to deal with from New York to Florida when I was chairman. That's fine. But the mission is how you set yourself up for political success this November, because that's going to tell you how you're going to do next year.
So okay. There's a lot can happen between now. We see since January 20th, a lot can happen between.
Oh yeah, it will.
Until now and tomorrow. And then you talking about November. So with that said, what does the fight back from your vantage point as someone who ran the party?
Yep.
And we're in a space where the 3 branches of government are all Republican. The Supreme Court,
yep,
the Congress, the legislative branch,
and the executive
branch. What does the fight back look like to stop?
Make them own everything. Make them own everything. Stop this bull conversation of, oh, we're going to take our swords and turn them into bipartisan plowshares. Mike Johnson's going to shove those plowshares up your behind. That's what he's going to do with that bipartisan plowshare. Republicans, get it through your head, Democrats. Republicans in this Congress do not want to work with you. Period. There is no political upside for any of them, from Susan Collins, right, to Mike Johnson. There is no political upside for them to work with you, because you're not going to get the votes out of them.
We had people fall out of the sky last week.
Who?
Fall out of the sky.
The planes. Talking about plane crashes, right?
Oh, I thought you talking. I'm talking politically. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about people.
That's what I'm saying. Everything you gotta choose. There are people who are dead, and he blamed DEI, and nobody's talking about that anymore.
Right.
And they're still trying to find the people from that plane.
So make them own. That's what I'm saying, April. Make them own it.
He blamed Pete Buttigieg.
I got that. I'm answering your question.
He blamed Obama, and he blamed
them own it.
But how are they going to own it when we're not even talking about it anymore?
I think that's the question, though, April. I think that's the question, though, Michael. Are the Democrats, and particularly leadership in Congress, are they being too quiet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they went in front of the Treasury Department yesterday. What else do they need to do? Instead of talking and protesting, what can be done to fix this, to change this?
Look, what do you mean what can be done? In the Senate, why are the 3 most incompetent individuals on the planet about to become the Director of National Intelligence, the Secretary of Health, and the FBI Director? You mean to tell me, help me understand this, April, that what's his name? Former senator from West Virginia.
Manchin.
Joe Manchin can tie the damn United States Senate up for when the Democrats had control for 18 months.
Jeffries is on the phone. Does he want to?
No, I'm calling him right now, telling him to come on with us because he needs to answer the question. He's not picking up. He's not picking up. I'm calling him right now to make sure he comes on and takes. He's not picking up right now. So I'm gonna keep trying. I'll keep trying.
I'm just saying, how could Joe Manchin tie up the Senate for 18 months in the first 2 years of the Biden administration when they had the majority in the Senate? Tell me how Senator Tuberville sits there and holds over 200 DOD appointments for almost 8 months. Use the damn system. You can't tell me Chuck Schumer, in all his years in the damn Senate, hasn't figured out how to punk Republicans the way the Republicans. Let me finish my point, then I'll let you have yours. And punk Republicans the way Mitch McConnell punked his ass all those years. Are you kidding me?
I'm in agreement with you, but Joe Manchin wasn't alone. And I have said this. I believe that Biden should have leaned in a little bit more on that filibuster issue, on several issues. But it wasn't just Joe Manchin when he was a Democrat.
Mark my words. If the Republicans get to the point where they need to eliminate the filibuster, it's gone. Yeah. Okay?
So what Michael's saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Democrats could have put a hold on every nominee until Elon pulled his people out of the Treasury payment system until DEI was restored, until USAID was restored. Why don't we do that? That's all they had to do. You don't need one of them.
Because it's political malfeasance what they're doing.
We need to send this to every Democrat, I guess. I mean, because Mark has been talking about what are the Democrats doing. One of the things I do know is that they are feeling we talk too much. We have to go in secret now. And I'm hoping that's what they do, to say, okay, everybody's heads down. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm talking to myself now.
I'm you're not talking to yourself. I'm just hanging my head because it's so dumb.
It's asinine.
I just want to see somebody fight for this. I want to see somebody fight for the country and for all the little Trump morons out there. I'm not talking about, oh, we're going to get into, they're looking to start a war. No, that's you guys. And so we can't fall into this trap that when we try to stand up and assert on behalf of the country, the value proposition of this nation, as flawed as it is, that it still matters that we exist as a republic with a democratic process for its citizens. So we are not an authoritarian nation. We don't abide by dictators. What was that?
So the Constitution and all the founding principles that we've been led by have now been upended by Project 2025. Is the Constitution being replaced without us going through formalities?
You're going to let them? Are you going to let them? No, you're going to write the story. I'm going to get up and use my platform to call it out.
And cuss
Mark is going to do the same thing. Yeah. So there are those of us who are engaged in this struggle on behalf of the country. What we need now is political leadership to align itself in that struggle, because they're not aligned. Democrats are sitting there wringing their hands trying to figure out what words to use. Meanwhile, Republicans don't give a rat's ass about any of it. I mean, look, you know that as this morning or late yesterday, you had Elon Musk in his menagerie of misfits go into NOAA, right? The national oceanic, right? And they went in there and they started doing what they do. They bullied their way past the front door and basically told people, we got this. And a former NOAA administrator said, quote, well, he said, this is what they're telling us. We're just going to do it and dare somebody to stop us. And by the time they stop us, we'll have destroyed it. That's the play, people. That's the play. Yeah. We're going to do it until you stop it.
Yeah.
And by the time you stop us, that thing called the Department of X, that thing called the Agency of Y, that thing called the Constitution of the United States will be wholly unrecognizable because it will have been destroyed.
So
that's the play.
So here's my thing. In the next,
Michael, your time okay? You know, we're gonna keep it time.
I got about another 5, and then I got to run.
Okay, we appreciate you, and I'm gonna say this. I'm concerned as a citizen of this nation, not just as a reporter, but I have children. I just got over the flu from the White House. Everybody's sick. I just got over the flu, and what's going to happen to vaccines? What's going to happen to our health? What's going to happen to our water? What's going to happen to our air? What's going to happen to our transportation systems? Because everything seems to be happening. Planes crashing, that is not by happenstance, not by coincidence. There is a shortage in the air traffic control community. Okay. Yeah. And then what happens to our water? You know, it's beyond fluoride. You know, one of the things people don't understand is when you go to the restroom and you flush the toilet, do you know they test to see what kind of diseases are out there?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
That's how they know Because guess what? We're not going to know anymore. CDC is being silenced. We are in a situation beyond what we can even fathom. And this conversation is so important. The fight back. I mean, it's when we say the fight back, it's a part of the democracy of this country. It's protest, peaceful protest is part of the founding of this country. You know, we are allowed to ask and say, why are you doing this? I don't like it.
But you're not anymore. You're not. That's what you need to understand. That's the part that's being silenced. That's why every time, you know, people like me are the problem inside the, you know, I'm not the outlier. I'm the outlier. You know, that people who stand in opposition to this are the problem. That's the narrative. That's the narrative they want to create. That's the suspicion they want to level up. So this idea that anytime you gather, I mean, just like the gatherings of members of Congress, right, on the steps of the Capitol and elsewhere, people, you know, the narrative in the MAGA world is they're trying to foment an insurrection. Well, no. The Constitution allows us to freely assemble and protest the behavior and actions of our government.
Yes.
But they don't want that to happen. That's now the outlier. That's the thing, because you're protesting Trump and you're protesting his administration. That's not good. That's not good for Trump.
And now there's legal retaliation.
Because Trump is now America. That's what they want you to believe. Trump is now America. Just as DEI equals the N-word, Trump equals America. That's the notion they want to push out here. I'm not buying it. I will fight that every day of my existence. That's just not how this is going to play out. We need more folks to understand that and stop with the fancy rhetoric and trying to find the right words. You know the words. They exist right here in your heart. You know the words already. And the words are very simple. We the people.
In order to form a more perfect union.
Amen.
We need, you know what we need? Schoolhouse Rock back. Remember that? Yes, I'm a bill.
Well, anyway, I thank you for allowing me to come on and rant some more.
love you, brother. You gonna be on TV anymore tonight?
I'm done tonight. Thank goodness I got a little bit of a break, but tomorrow you guys can catch me. I'm doing what am I doing? Tomorrow's Thursday, right? I got Ari Melber tomorrow night at 6, and I'm filling in for Chris Hayes on Friday night, so that'll be fun.
Oh, my phone didn't ring for your fill-in. Okay, my phone didn't ring.
So and folks, every Saturday and Sunday morning, the show is great.
Yes.
What he's doing on with Simone.
It's not just Simone. They have another.
And Alicia. Yeah.
I was trying to get a name out of Alicia.
Yeah, he was. I saw his brother had it. He was there.
I was trying to get there. You all are great. 8 a.m. Eastern, correct?
8 a.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday morning.
So
the weekend, baby.
This and we're going to be talking to Michael Moore as we go through this ordeal. Before we came on, I was just on a call with some people saying, Mark, we got to do something. These civil rights organizations, I said, y'all, we got to get over our trauma. Last thing I'm going to say, Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass didn't have the luxury of depression and trauma. Okay? Those words didn't even exist yet. So, y'all, we got to get ourselves together. Michael, love you, brother.
Love you, brother. Take care. Hey, sis, I'll talk to you.
I look for the call for Friday night.
Okay. No, they asked me guests to bring on, so I'm going to put the word in right now.
Put it in.
You got it.
Thank you, Michael. I love that he answers anytime I call. Thank you, Michael.
You got it, guys. Take care.
All right, y'all. Appreciate you. Okay.